Hello, this is Dana Arcuri. I am a published author, speaker, and wellness coach, and I wanted to share with you one of my stories on how both of my books, it's my memoir and my 50-day devotional, I wanted to share how they came to become reality for me, how it was a dream that was then transformed into a real life dream come true. And so for me, I wasn't exactly planning on writing a book. I did not have an intention on writing a book, but it was over 3.5 years ago. I was preparing to go to bed, and I had turned off the light and started tossing and turning, and I really sensed God prompting me to get up and open up my Bible. And I'll be honest, I was sleepy and exhausted, and, silently I'm thinking, no, I want to sleep. I'm tired. Please, can this wait? And I really felt that God was pressing me and that this was something serious, and I needed to be obedient and just get up and open up my Bible. So I did so. And I kept in my mind sensing the words harvest and the word hope. And of course, I wasn't sure what God intended. And so I thought, I will just read scriptures on harvest, and I will read scriptures on hope, and perhaps this will shed the light on what God wants. And so I'm reading about harvest, and I'm reading about hope, and I'm gaining some wisdom from these biblical scriptures. And I really sensed that the part about harvest was to do with seasons. And I kept thinking, everybody goes through seasons. We go through good times and we go through bad times. We go through joyful times and we go through very sad, painful times. And so in real life, yes, there are seasons that we may experience. And then as far as the word hope, I thought, I love that word, because hope means brighter days. Hope means there's a better outcome. Hope means life doesn't have to stay the way it is. And even if it isn't perfect, even if it isn't what we want at the moment, hope means something greater is about to happen. And it's really just about trusting God. And so I started writing down verses, and I started praying, okay, what is this, God? Is it a ministry? Is it an article that you want me to write? And I heard nothing. So there was silence. And for at least 8 or 9 months, I heard no other, other topics, other, words from God. His voice was silent as far as this harvest and this word of hope. And so I moved on with life and just kept on moving forward. I ended up connecting with a writing critique group. One of the writers said she felt that I had a story within me that I needed to share. She felt that I should step out and do this. So I prayed about it. And that's when God said, Harvest and Hope is your title. And that is how Harvest of Hope, Living Victoriously Through Adversity, was born. It was not my title, it was God's title. It was a story that God shared with me how much it would change people's lives, that I can't keep to myself the miracles that have happened, how God was able to transform my husband, who was addicted to drugs, alcohol, and gambling, and miraculously heal him of these addictions that had a strong hold on his life. And God just transformed, majestically, sovereignly transformed my husband into a mighty man of God. And my husband did not go through one withdrawal symptom, not one single symptom. I mean, that's when a miracle is happening, when things that should be happening are not happening, and suddenly, by the grace of God, you don't have to suffer. That in itself was a miracle. That really was my beginning point of seeing God work behind the scenes and how powerful He can change a situation from becoming, a situation that's impossible to becoming possible. I saw how God took ordinary people like me, like my husband, And he turned us into these, people who have regular lives, but these extraordinary stories and testimonials that prove how God is real, how he is so very faithful to his children. And even when we make mistakes, even when we go down the wrong path, and we may find ourselves in a situation that is unfortunate or unpleasant, that God will still pour out his grace. He will still redirect us back onto the right path. He will continually work through our lives in even the most messiest moments of despair, of loss, of terrifying, situations. He will turn around and he will use it. He will take you right where you're at right now, however bad, however low, however desperate, however painful, however doubtful, and he will show you how real he is, how faithful he is, that in our own flesh we may not be enough to get ourselves out of our messes, to somehow climb out of the dark pit that may have a hold on us, or that may be preventing us to be all that God has called us to be. But God will graciously pour out his mercies and grace and peace and love upon our lives and reveal himself in such a way that we have no doubt it is him and only him who could transform us from the inside out. And so I'm here today to tell you, through this Christmas season, no matter where you are at, whether you are on the highest of high mountain and you are living a joyous life, or you are at the lowest of low, dark points in your life where you are questioning where in the world God is, I am here to say God is with you now. He will use you right where you're at this exact moment, no matter if it's a positive place or a negative place. He will take you in the season you are at right now, and he will pour out a mustard seed of hope upon you to keep you walking, whether you could see, his light, or you are blinded by darkness right now. You can trust that God is in your midst. And his word says, in Daniel 6:27, it says, he performs astonishing miracles in heaven and on earth. And I do believe that I have personally experienced these real-life miracles on earth. And I believe you can too. Sometimes it's just a matter of believing that God can do anything. Believing that his strength is enough. Believing that his hope will help you go through seas of uncertainty to get to the other side and to find a whole new pathway, a pathway for healing, a pathway of restoration. He could take anything that's dead and he could resurrect it to life, including you and me. And so today I have a book that I have written recently that has been launched last month, and it is called Harvest of Hope, Living Victoriously Through Adversity. And this book it's like my precious baby. I've worked on it for several years. And, I am thrilled that God was with me to equip me to write this book and complete it. And he gave me the scriptures and the ideas and the words. And so I'm praying that if you need a word today, if you need hope, if you need encouragement, if you need deeper faith, to consider purchasing my book, Harvest of Hope, Living Victoriously Through Adversity, a 50-day devotional of hope. And that I pray it will bless you and encourage you to just keep on keeping on, that God is with you and he loves you and he will never, ever forsake you. And if for any reason you know of someone who's struggling, you know of someone who may be your friend or loved one who really needs an encouraging word, really needs to draw closer to God because you know in your heart God has great plans for them, then I pray that you will also consider Harvest of Hope, Living Victoriously Through Adversity, the 50-day devotional, to give them healing, health, and hope, and help deepen their faith and draw them closer to God. And so I thank you today And I just wish you a very Merry Christmas and look forward to the new year because I know God has great things coming for you. Thank you and God bless.